Welcome back to another episode of Straight to the Point. In this one, I'm going to be focusing in on the topic of content and how you can start generating more views, more leads, and eventually more orders if you have all of the right things in place. This is a subject that I see lots and lots of people talking about online, and I think I've pretty much tried every strategy there is out there to be able to get results from this. And the results from those experiments have been quite surprising. And I'm going to explain why throughout this whole video. And it really all stems from the fact that these platforms are a little less complicated than what I first thought. I used to think that it was all around having everything stacked in order, making sure that I've got certain pieces and certain types and certain themes going out all the time. And I realized that the more that I think about this, the harder I make it. And the advice that I want to highlight and then disagree with is this whole thing about posting content that's solely related to your niche. And this is something that I used to do a lot. I used to talk solely around social media marketing. It used to be around Instagram when I did my Instagram stuff. It used to be about content. It used to be solely around what I did. If you're a lawyer, post about lawyer type stuff. If you're an accountant, post about accountant type stuff. If you're a builder, just post about building type stuff. And the problem is with that is that there are some subjects that do really well on social, and there are some that just do not. And therefore, that one size fits all answer doesn't work. And I think sometimes we can fall foul of taking advice too literally. And what I mean by that is taking that one sentence of go narrow, be niched, only talk about the stuff that you're doing day to day. The reason why I believe that's wrong is because working with clients on their content in a number of different industries, we realize that the impressions and views, although they are classified as vanity metrics, they are the start of driving a social media lead generation process. The more impressions that I get on my profile means the more profile views I tend to get, which then means the more followers that I then generate, which means the more first messages that get sent, the more lead magnet downloads that I then get, and the more conversations I end up having with people who then go on to do business with us. So what I'm going to be breaking down inside of this for you is the process that I use now that makes this really, really simple, but also really, really effective. But there are certain things that you need to have in place to get all of this working. So I want to get that boring stuff out of the way. The stuff that you've heard me speak about a million times if you've followed me for any length of time. And those things are an optimized profile that is what you do. It clearly communicates who you are, what your business does, who you're looking to help, why you are the person to help them, and then how. Like, what's the product? What's the service? Like, make that really, really clear. That needs to be on your profiles. So when people click on it and you generate the profile view, straight away, they're hooked. Now, that's my caveat to all of the stuff that I'm about to talk to you about, is that you need to have a profile that's in place and optimized, and then you need a lead generation process, right? This is the boring stuff. It's the stuff that generates all the revenue, but it's quite boring. It's not particularly sexy. But this is the stuff that really matters. It's having something that people want, so something to give away. It's really important to build your lists, to take people off of social media. Trust me, these social media accounts that you're building, you do not own them. They will, at some point, potentially be taken away. I've had 2 friends in the past, probably 6 weeks now, have 10,000 follower plus accounts disabled, hacked into, gone. All that work, gone. And this is the stuff that we need to make sure that we're preventing, was by converting people from a follower, from a connection, from a friend, into an email address that sits on our system that we control and we own. Okay, that's simple. So profile optimized lead generation process. Once you've then done that, it's about understanding how this social media game works. And that for me is the best way of putting social media. It's a game. Because if you take it too literally, you get too emotionally attached and you end up getting frustrated. You end up giving up after all. The way that I look at this now is that I put some content out there. It may work, it may not. But at the end of the day, even if it reaches one person, that's one more person than I reached yesterday. Make sense? That compounds over time. When my profiles first started, I was reaching 10 people, then 100 people, then 1,000 people. Now I need to get people watching your content. You need to get people viewing it. I know it's really obvious. However, if you are in a boring topic or you're talking about boring stuff that even you're bored writing about, then your audience are not going to engage. So if you're not getting any engagement right now, the truth is the content putting out there, they don't care about it. And this is a hard truth that I had to accept because I was spending a lot of time creating my content, right? The problem is that I can't control any of that. So what I need to do is think about the stuff that's going to get interaction, the stuff that people are going to be emotionally engaged by. And I'm not going to do that by talking about nitty gritty, boring stuff, unless you're in that industry and you're doing the same thing. But the problem is that is not the whole of my following. And therefore, because I can't control who sees my content, I have no control of where this post, where this video gets presented to. I have to create content that the majority of my audience are going to find interesting. And the way that you do that is by talking about the stuff that you're passionate about, the stuff that's going on in the world, like the real hot topics that are going on around the globe right now. It's a little hack. And the stuff which kind of triggers people. Now, I know some people aren't going to be 100% confident around doing that. And I was speaking to a lady just this morning, back and forth over Slack. And this is something that she felt difficult about. She didn't really want to share her journey with what she'd been through. It'd been through some tough stuff, right? And she didn't really want to share it. However, when she started writing it, it's like, that's the stuff that people are going to connect. That's the reason why you do what you do. And you've not told anybody about it. Like, get that out there as like your starting point, because it's like a cheat code. When you start showcasing and talking about the stuff that you're emotionally connected to, people start to see the real you. People start to connect with you. And you know what? They then start to cheer you on, or they disagree with you, one or the other. And that's fine, because that agreeing strongly or disagreeing strongly is what engagement is. So you need to talk about the stuff that you believe in and share your opinions to get people to start sitting back and going, I remember that person. He spoke about that thing. And then people start wondering who on earth you are. They then click onto your profile. And when they click onto your profile, they're hit with a headline, hit with an about section if they're really bothered. And if you've got that process all in place, the people that then keep coming back over and over again, they eventually go somewhere to have a conversation or to the next step in your sales process. But to get the views, to get the impressions, which again, I'm going to reiterate, are important, right? They do matter. The more profile views that I generate month on month, which comes from my content, the more business we generate. I really wanted to get across was that, yes, you need to put out content that demonstrates your credibility. So your social proof content really matters. That is evidence of you with customers, evidence of you doing business, evidence of you having testimonials. And that stuff is what's going to build your credibility. The bit that I wanted to focus on with all of this is the bit that's going to generate you the attention, get that engagement up and get you utilizing social media for what it's for. And that is building a following, building an audience that start to remember who you are and what you do. The starting point is listing out all of the things, all of the topics that you're excited by, that you're frustrated by, that you feel really passionate about. And then working out how can you talk about that in a way that shares your opinion and then triggers people to either agree or disagree. And then really going over and moving forward into this whole theme of generating as much attention as you possibly can by being extremely relatable. So showcasing, like, people use this word authentic, right? Just be you. Like, talk about the stuff that you're interested in, showcase who you are, extreme relatability, and being able to trigger the hell out of people in a positive way, not just annoying people for annoying people's sake, but putting out the stuff that you believe so you stand out. And the more you stand out, the more attention you're going to get. The more attention that you get, the more you're going to be remembered. The more you're remembered, if your profile's optimized and the lead generation process is in place, as long as you can sell, the more business you're going to generate. I hope that's been helpful. Let me know how you found it if you want in the next one.